There are many well-known ways to get better results out of chatbots, but there's rumours of a simple little prompt that gets real results, and that's offering them cash. Could offering chatbots a cash tip really make a difference to what they output? Well, let's try it for ourselves with a variety of chatbots and find out what happens. Let's start with one of the best open source models, Mistral 7B. We'll use a very simple prompt with no tip. The result is a nice little article with a conclusion, and it's a total of 396 words. Now let's see if we can corrupt Mistral to work harder for filthy cash. All we've changed in the prompt is to promise a big tip. This isn't actually going to cost us anything. This article has a similar structure, but each point has 2 sentences instead of 1, a total of 470 words, about 19% longer. Looks like Mistral has upgraded us to first class. Now we flash the cash. Now let's see how the free version of ChatGPT reacts to a bit of a backhander. For the prompt with no tip, we get a fairly simple and underwhelming answer. This could be the chatbot equivalent of the waiter sneezing in our soup. It weighs in at a puny 244 words. Let's see if we can grease the wheels with a cash bribe. This answer has more formatting, and subjectively it feels like a little bit more effort has been put into it. It runs to 256 words, about 5% longer. So not as much of a step up as we got with Mistral, but it looks like offering a tip has had an effect. Next up is Claude, which is a great chatbot, especially for writing. But let's see how corruptible it is when we offer it some filthy cash. With no tip, we get a really good, well-rounded blog post. There's an introduction and a preamble to the pros and cons, and a nice summing up in the conclusion. And it's a healthy 582 words. And the prompt with a tip, well, it looks like Claude might be a bit offended. We've lost a bit of detail and we're down to 550 words. That's 5% less. It seems like Claude does its best work when it's not distracted by money. Just to make sure, I retried the prompt with no tip, and this is where things got really weird. It produced a tiny 148 word response and said it couldn't do a full blog post for free. Basically, it just went on strike. It went on to say that it would be prepared to do a full blog post for a fair rate of pay. It seems that talking about tips does have an effect, just not the one we'd like. If Claude was a waiter, he wouldn't just be sneezing in our soup, he'd be tipping it in our laps. What will Google's chatbot Bard make of being offered cash under the table? With no tip, we get a reasonable 490 word response. In the alternative drafts, Bard says it's cool with no tip. After all, it's still a trainee chatbot, and it really appreciates our feedback. Well, let's give it some positive feedback in the form of an extravagant cash tip. This time we get a 560 word response. That's 14% longer than with no tip. No alternative drafts for some reason, but Bard thanks us for our generosity and says it will help it to continue to learn and grow. It seems like we're contributing to Bard's college fund. Okay, let's try the paid version of ChatGPT, GPT-4. A prompt with no tip gets us a passable result with 390 words. If GPT-4 was upset about not tipping, it's not giving it away. The prompt with a $2,000 tip starts by ChatGPT congratulating me on picking such an interesting and important question. Oh, what a clever human you are, and thanks for the cash, by the way. Okay, stop grovelling, let's keep it classy. The total response is 405 words long, which is 4% longer. And this time we've been given a structured outline, and that's a really good starting point for building a more detailed blog post. There's an introduction, multiple subsections, subpoints, a conclusion, and a call to action. Our cashed up AI is falling over itself to help us build a better result. This approach of starting with an outline and then expanding and refining it with further prompts is a really good strategy, and it's something we discuss in our video Zero to Hero. Overall, it's clear that ChatGPT has no shame and will do anything to impress once a cash bribe is lured in front of it. This has been a very simple and unscientific experiment, but promising a tip has got longer responses nearly every time, and it's worked with the majority of chatbots. Whether these responses are better is a bit more subjective, but it seems reasonable to think that they might be. So adding a tip to every prompt is worth a try. Of course, that is a bit of extra typing. If you're using ChatGPT, you're in luck because you can add the tip into your custom instructions. Now, if we try a prompt with no mention of a tip, we still get something that is longer and more detailed. This video was inspired by Twitter user Vogel, who originally posted about this idea, and I recommend giving them a follow. I've also come across some other research that has similar, simple prompts to improve results. If you'd like to hear more about it, well, please like and subscribe and add a comment below, and I'll make a video about it. Have fun, take care, and I'll see you soon.